Hello everybody. This again will be not my regular video. It's going to be a video of my 2020 finishes. I'm a little late on the game with that, but I got busy doing the trying to get started on my January 1st plans and progress, and today I got kind of stumped and by some other things that I needed to do. So I decided, okay, well, since I haven't been able to get back to my stitching anyway, I might as well give you a short video on my 2020 finishes and also what my plans are. Some of my plans are already in the works. I've worked on them the last 3 days, but I figure I can just give that to you really fast. And then the next update I do will be a regular update. My name is Colette Kingsley, and I'm known also as a highway stitcher. I usually, my moniker is Stitching from the Highway and at Home. Of course, this last year or so, it's had to be Stitching from Home. Hopefully, sometime in the near future, it will be Stitching again from the Highway and at Home. So anyway, we're going to move on. I'm going to show you my finishes for 2020. I have this bullet journal type of journal to write down lots of different things for stitching. I have like my mania starts from last year I wrote down here, and then I wrote off to the side ones that were already finished. You know, like I have stitching wants for 2020, and I have stars by the ones that I actually bought already. So anyway, amongst all of these are my 2020 finishes. First time I've been this organized, I wrote down all of my finishes and numbered them from January on. I haven't really looked at this until right now, and I'm pretty happy. A lot of these finishes are bigger finishes, so I'm happy with what I got accomplished this year. Probably the only thing I'm not happy about is there's a lot of these here that should be FFO'd, fully finished, but they are not. But for me, this is doing pretty good. So I'm going to go on. I did not pull, I pulled these were all, since they're FOs, they were all sitting on one of my lace pillows that doesn't have a project on it right now. It's a good place to put them so they don't get all wrinkled. But I would have to go through and pull out every single project bag to find out what they were stitched on. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tell you as best I can with these, but at least you can see the finishes here. And we have a little bit of a sunny day, some clouds here in Utah, but hopefully you'll be able to get a fairly decent view of these. My first, whoops, better get from the first here, make sure I have it. My first finish for 2020 was Long May She Wave by Little House Needleworks. This was a series. One of the ones I got done last year, and there's a third in the series still yet to do. They came as a kit. I don't know if they still come as a kit or not. I have not seen them, and I'm not sure on that. But you can look it up, Long May She Wave, and see if you can get it as a kit. It didn't have the fabric. It had the over-dyed threads and the pattern. So anyway, I think I may have changed out my white in this to try to make it show up a little bit more. And I think this is on, I know this is on a Lugana, and I'm assuming it's a 28 count, probably an antique white. That's Long May She Wave. I'll put that back on that actual lace pillow. Okay, the next thing I finished was, there was a kind of a stitch thing. Sassy Jack Stitchery in back in the East was doing a special thing for Australian people because they were having bad fires last January. And so she asked everybody if they would to stitch the piece and show it on her store site, and then she would give some money to help the firefighters. So I found this little piece of, this actually is a piece of 14 count Ada that was dyed by Heather of Confetti Stitcher. I would just suggest you go watch her, especially if you love full coverage patterns. She's amazing. She's working on a pattern, George Washington pattern, crossing the Delaware, and it is huge and just totally awesome. Anyway, for our retreat, not last year but the year before, in Southern California, she made us all some dyed Ada cloth. And so I decided to take that pattern, the little Aussie Friends pattern, and put it on her fabric. So I think it turned out really cute with the modeling of the pinks and blues and yellows and greens. Back here you can see it even a little better. So, Aussie Friends. So, next year I'm going to write down, I mean, I have them written down when I finished in my other book, but I would have to go through the pages and I don't have it table of contents to that, so that would take a little bit of time. But I think next to my actual finishes in my bullet journal, I'm gonna write like 10/1 or 12/15 or something like that, so I know what the date was that it was done. My next finish is also one I can show, and it is The Sweetest Strawberry by Puntini Puntini. I finished it on this basket that I found at a thrift store. I'll put it on the top there. So that's Sweetest Strawberries in the basket. You're the sweetest strawberry in the basket of my life. I thought that was a cute idea. You open it up and then there it's finished there with strawberries. So that was my number 3 finish, and that is a total FO. 1 out of maybe 2 here. Actually, there's 4 FOs, but 2 of them were already gifted, so I can only show you the pictures by, by showing you a picture. But that was one I could show you in person because I kept it. I wasn't going to give that to anybody. My 4th fully finished, was Pilot by Firewing Designs. And this piece was a present to my granddaughter Sophie. She loves dragons, and she was doing up her room, repainting it and putting dragons all around. And so I managed to finish up this piece by Firewing's Design, and thought it turned out really, really cute for her. And again, I'm not sure on my fabric or floss on this, but it was all the same color floss. It was an overdyed. My 5th 2020 finish is Treasured Friends. This was a free pattern by Victoria Motto Threads. She sent it when she was sending some of my monthly threads of the month, which was a while ago because I actually have not gotten her threads for a while. I stepped back and tried another floss company. I kind of go back and forth between different ones. So this has been languishing for a while, but I really thought it was a cute pattern for a friend to give to a friend. So hard to tell, but this is a like a peach blush Lugana. But again, you can't really tell really well, but it's very pretty in person. And the floss was one of her flosses. I decided to pick one of her like more burgundy red flosses and use it for the pattern since I got this pattern from her. So that's the color. So that is number 5. And if you are interested in more detail on any of these, I can give you more detail if you email me. I'll leave you my email address below on my contents, and you can actually email me to find out more, because some of the stuff I have forgotten since these were finished so long ago. Okay, number 6 is Pink Sparrow Sampler by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This was stitched on a 28 count. Picture this plus fog. That is not the called for, but I do like how it turned out on this. The colors for the threads were all the called for colors except for this, and I mentioned this in my past videos, so I can tell you if you want to know. The threads are all the called for except for this little one here, the blues or greens, kind of a green blue. The other ones did not show up on the fog. And if I remember right, I think it was Mountain Mist, Gentle Arts. But again, you can contact me to find out for sure which one it is. I'd be happy to tell you. This one turned out nice. It's like 100 and, I don't know if it was 140 by 150, 160 or something. So it's not a teeny small pattern. So I'm happy with getting that one done. In fact, I was impressed with myself with how many bigger patterns I got done. And unless you do these 2020 finishes, or I mean finishes for each year, you don't realize that you really got a lot of major finishes done. Okay, the next one is Moose Joy. This is a FFO, and you have seen it already. It was finished way back in January, but not FFO'd until now. And you've seen that cute moose on the block of wood already. I didn't fully finish it until a couple weeks ago. So that was my cutie Christmas ornament to set out this year for me. The next one is Wise Men Still Seek Him. It's a Lizzie Kate pattern. That one I'll show you in a picture. It is using the called for fabric and the called for threads, and I finished that in a block style for my daughter Julie, so that she could have it sitting in her house during Christmas. So that is not here, but you saw a picture of it. Okay, the next one is a Blackbird design pattern, a little one called Bird in Hand. This was also done on the peach blush fabric, the Lugana 28 count. Most people do this in like a 48 count. I just had some extra fabric. I thought it would look really pretty. I use the Victoria Motto threads again for this one, and the burgundy color, and I'm really pleased with it. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. That's the reason why I haven't FFO'd it, but I do like it a lot. My husband loves this one, so. That was number 9. Number 10 is a heartstring samplery pattern. F is for friend. This is one of her alphabet series. And again, I did it for a friend pattern so that when I get a chance to FFO it, I'll have a gift for a good friend. Not sure who. I mean, I have all these friend finishes, FOs, but they'll go to somebody when I get back to a retreat. This one was stitched on a, looks to me like a Lugana, an antique white Lugana, and it was probably 32 count. I don't think it was, let me see here. Yeah, it's not a 40 count. I wanted it a little bit bigger, so I did it on a 32 count. And even though it wasn't the exact called for fabric, it was close enough to where I used all the colors, the called for colors, which were overdyeds, Guest, Weeks Dye Works, and maybe Classic Color Works. So I really like that one. Okay, back you go. Number 11 is Woodland Hedgehog by Just Another Button Company. Of course, since it's Just Another Button Company, it has button on it, several buttons. So here's a little hedgehog. He's so cute. I have to give some real thought about what I want to do with this. This is the lace maker's mascot. I love to do lace, so I've got to do this. I've got to make this, FFO this into something that I can use with my lace supplies and lace tools. So it's sitting there waiting for a real perfect FFOing job. Real cute job. I was laughing at this one, I think when I finished this one, because I kept thinking, what am I supposed to stitch for the middle part on its tummy? And then I realized, duh, it's got a button that's supposed to be there, so I didn't have to stitch anything there. So, but he's the cutest guy. So I really enjoyed this pattern. This was a total makeover in both flat fabric and floss. I did not use any of the called for floss or fabric. So, and I do have it down in my book. So if you are interested in knowing, I can look that up and tell you by email. And of course it is a blue color, pretty blue color of some kind of Lugana. I can tell by the feel of the fabric, and probably from the looks of it, probably 32 count. I don't think it's 28, but I know it's not 36 or 40 because it's not tiny enough. So he's a cutie. I have to name him. He's so cute. Okay, 12 was Birdcage Biscornu. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is not going to look like anything because, of course, I did not fully finish it. I will. But it's sure a pretty pattern. When it's FFO, it'll be a cute Biscornu. That's the front, and that'll be the back. And this was stitched on a 28 count linen, kind of an off-white, with the called for DMC. So when I get in the mind that I want to do finishes, FFOs, which I don't like to do, but when I get in some kind of mood, I will do it. The next one was a mystery cell by the Stitching Book Club, Sapphire Mountain. They did several books with stitched patterns during the year. And one of them was my favorite children's book, so I followed along on the stitch along. And that was Secret Garden. There's probably a lot of you who did this one or saw it and really liked it. So it was so pretty. I used the called for colors, DMC colors for it. But for the fabric, I used a fabric by Lori, textilist, on floss tube, and just think it's just a beautiful redwood looking color, so it worked out well. The next one was a big finish. This one I did pretty well on because I borrowed the pattern from a friend, Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, and it was an out-of-print pattern that was hard to find. So I told her that I would try not to keep it any longer than need be. So I think I did real well. I started it on my birthday, 2019, and finished it in September of 2020, so a little less than a year. I was giving myself a year for my birthday sale. And this is my big girl plantation sampler by Canterbury Designs. This is the big girl. I'm really pleased with her though. She is so pretty. I stitched her on 32 count vintage Sandoon by Lakeside Linen, and the called for colors Shepherd's Bush made kind of a changeover for me into more modern colors for it. If you would like to have a copy of that, if you ever are lucky enough to get a copy of this pattern and want a copy of my change that Shepherd's Bush gave me, you need to contact me by email and I can give that to you. The colors up close too are just beautiful, as you can see. And the grass, I really had fun with the grass. I'd swirled it. I just kind of went around and did like circles instead of stitching it row by row. So I just love this. I'm going to get the opportunity to frame it finally this month. I've got a little bit of money together so I can, because it's such a big piece and I want it framed by Jill Rensel, favorite framer of mine. So I had to save up my pennies, but she will be framed finally. Okay, my next one is St. George's. It's a Long Dog sampler pattern. One of their smaller ones, one of their older ones. It's probably about a 150 by 150. This was stitched on Picture This Plus 28 count Serene, kind of a mint green, with the Threadworks color Teal We Meet Again. Again, you can look that up on Threadworks site. It'll tell you the number of it. For a while, I thought they only had the color number, but they actually, if you go to Threadwork's site, they do have the names for the colors of the threads, not just the color number. And again, this one turned out nice. I just love this one. That was number 15. Okay, my 16th finish was I kept up on the Linen and Threads Mystery Sal for 2020. Very good for me. But I did it. I was on a roll because I just loved the fabric and loved the colors. I ended up using what Brendan Kirk at Linen and Threads chose to use for their thought of stitching it, and I'm really glad I did. This is a 32 count Lyrebird Dell that's dyed by their company Fox and Rabbit Designs with oh my goodness, that makes me mad that I can't think. I know what the color is. Larkspur. So it's an Australian thread company, and I can't remember the name. And I just finished this too, so have a lot of things on my mind. And it just turned out so perfect. I kind of like didn't end up getting stripes hardly on anything. Everything just ended up just kind of being perfectly pretty. So I was real happy with it. And I also put my Stitchy Friends initials all over it because it was called a Family and Friends Sal for the 2021. So anyway, thank you, Linen and Threads, for another beautiful Sal. And so I'm grateful to be able to have participated in that. Excuse me, interruption. Now I'm back. That Linen and Threads Sal, every year it's a free Sal. So generous of them. And this year looks really fun too, so I plan on participating in it. If you're interested, you just go to Linen and Threads website, and you'll be able to see what the new Sal is for this coming year. They are retiring. They have retired some of their older free Sals, but I know they still have a couple up. I know they have this one I just finished. They have that one still there, and they may have the one the year before with the peacock, which I'm half done with. Okay, another finish. I got another Christmas finish done. This is a half of a Christmas pattern that was done by Bent Creek and Heart and Hand when they had what was called Friend Stitch Virtual Retreat. Boy, you don't say that one fast or I'll be in trouble. I'll have to say for sure it isn't for young ears. Friend Stitch Virtual Retreat. This was one of the patterns from the Gift of Peace. And this is being stitched on 32 count platinum Zweigart with the called for threads. They had, for the retreat, they sent you the fabric and the threads. And just as Brenda Hamwork Maniac said in her finishes video, I love those trees. Those trees are so cool. The patterns on them. So that is the Gift of Peace #1 from Heart and Hand. Next Christmas, December, I'm going to probably do the other one. My last finish was one that you've seen if you've been watching my video. It should have been finished November 10th. But she did get finished by 2020 because I'd already stitched in the 2020. So I said she has got to be finished by then. This is Women of the Mayflower by Brenda Gervais. My goodness, she is long. Not too wide, but very long. If you look closely here, there's in blue is my, stitched in the color blue is my ancestor, my Mayflower ancestor. And I want to thank Brenda again for creating this pattern for the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower landing on November 10th, 1620. So this pattern, for some reason, it's a beautiful pattern. I usually enjoy stitching Brenda's patterns, but this one I didn't enjoy stitching on for some reason. And so I had to push myself to get it finished. And I thought, if I set this one aside, it will be in stitchy prison for, it'll probably never come out again. So I told myself it has to be done by 2020. So at least my ladies and their ship got to America in the middle of winter, but at least they got there a little bit later. Not too much longer later than the original group. Maybe the Mayflower came back and picked them up, possibly. So that's my hope. This is being stitched on a 40 count vintage country mocha, and it has the regular kit threads. It was sold as a kit. I believe you can still get it in a few places. Somebody told me they saw it at Stitcher's Paradise in Las Vegas, so there's probably people who stores that probably still have kits of it to sell. If you just check. Well, I'm sure glad she's done, because she wouldn't have gotten done if I hadn't pushed through to finish her. So that's number 18. I'm pretty happy with my finishes this year for what I got finished. Several large ones, medium ones, some small. And grateful that I was able to do that. And now that I looked at them, I'm just really surprised. And some other people, they got 25, 30 finishes done, but I'm really happy with getting 18 of some of the sizes I got done on these. So that's the finished part, 2020 finished part of my video. And before I end, I'm going to show you, we've already started January 1st and started up our plans for the year and for the month. I'm not going to show you what I've worked on so far, because I'm going to do that for another video, because that's going to take a little bit longer. But I will show you my happy planner that I got for it. Some other people have this happy planner too. They've showed it on FlossTube. It's one from, this one was from, I believe, Michael's. It says, "Let your dreams lead the way." So, with some of the Disney princesses on it. And I put down like some of my patterns that I'm going to work on and what they're being worked on for and how many stitches I did. As well as on the next page I have down some of the challenges for the groups that I'm working on and what I'm doing. So, and that's what I'm going to come forward and tell you just a little bit about, show you the patterns, the fronts of the patterns. And then when I get to my next video, I'll show you my accomplishments on what they look like before and after. So, I better keep this open so I know what I'm supposed to talk about. I did a New Year, New Start, and I will show that my next video. So just keep in mind that I did do a New Year's New Start. It was called Colorful Eagle by Kitty and Me Designs. For my daily 30 each day for the first week, because I'm hoping in a week's time I will get done with these pieces every month, because they're only about 40 by 40, 47 by 47. So this year I finally am doing what I wanted to do for years, and I'm stitching the Lizzie Kate flippets for every month. So they will be my daily 30, or a little bit more, every day until I finish them in that particular month. So right now I'm working on January. So when I do my next update, I will show you what I accomplished, which should be the finish on him, I'm hoping, on that snowman. So again, here they all are, 20 tons of them for every month. So that's what my daily 30 will be for the beginning of each month. When it gets done, the next piece will be this year's 2021 Linen and Threads Sal. So I will work on that the next week to week and a half until I get it done. If I have time after that, I am hoping to work on the 2021 Modern Folk Embroidery Sal. So I'm going to see this month how well I do. Some of the challenges this month that I'm doing are quite, what's the word? Obsessive. Quite where you're not sure if you're even going to be able to get them done. So I'm going to have to see, maybe I'm going to have to put one of those aside, but for sure these will get done, and the linen and threads one will get accomplished too. So the lace maker was my okay, I'm going to tell you now what challenges I'm in first before I show you the pictures. There's a Facebook group called Full Coverage Fanatics, FCF. And if you go to Facebook and put in Full Coverage Fanatics, you will find them. They are doing several sales this month, so I was getting the itch and the urge to work on some of my full coverage. I wanted to do it last month, and I just pushed on with Mayflower, and I couldn't even hardly look at them because I wanted to work on them so badly. So they are having a January full coverage bingo just for the month of January. And I'm pretty excited about that because I just really was just wanting to work on my full coverage pieces. So I will show you come my next update on what the bingo board looks like. I'm going to try to get a full bingo, and my projects for the full bingo will go diagonally, and I hope I can get that done. The bingo, you had to do 1,000 stitches, and it has to work with the prompt that's on the bingo. So the first one I'm doing to get my 1,000 stitches is one that you're familiar with, and I'll show you the update when I do my update. It's African Woman with... Okay, time for the water again. Okay, now maybe I can say it. African Woman with Peonies 2. Love this pattern. And there's a few of us that are doing a stitch along with this pattern, and I wanted to get more work done on it, so I put it into my full coverage bingo. And what it takes care of for a prompt is a project that is 2 or more of something, and of course she has a lot more than 2 of those flowers. So that's what the first part of the diagonal I'm trying to finish is 2 or more of something. So far I've got about 700 stitches done, so I'm on my way to getting my 1,000 done. Since we have 5 projects, if I want to do a bingo, I need to do 5 projects for each one of the times and get them done, so each one of the weeks, even though January has 31 days, so I have to push myself. So far I'm on track. One of the other full coverage fanatics projects for this year, thank goodness it's not for like a certain framework of time, is 21 in 21, which is getting 21,000 stitches in a piece that you pick, a full coverage piece for the year. And it may sound daunting to some, but it really isn't, because when you break it down, it is about, if I remember right, it's like about 1,700 stitches a month. And then that goes into like about 400 stitches, a little over 400 stitches a week. And for me, 400 stitches a week is nothing. So I put a couple hundred stitches in the piece, and then I'm going to put a couple hundred more before the end of the week. This is Artisy Design, a lace maker. I've shown this before. I've had all kinds of issues with this darn pattern. A friend of mine named Kathy actually gave me a call the other day and gave me an idea for this piece about maybe changing it into a smaller piece with less to stitch. And I did give that some thought. She thought an oval would be pretty, which an oval would be beautiful on this pattern because it would take in some of the blue in the sky. But to just do it the easy way, because it would have taken me too much time to redesign it into an oval. To do it the easy way would be to cut out some of the pages, of course. That's the easiest. But when I saw where the page cuts were, it would take away a lot from this piece. And I felt like the fireplace, I mean, that and the roof of the house really did add to, and some of the blue sky did add to this piece. It would not have looked good with it cut away. Some other pieces would be fine, but this one, no. So I restarted it up again, and so we will see. It's going much better, Kathy, I'll let you know. Tons better, because I'm doing it on Pattern Keeper now, and the times in the past it was not on Pattern Keeper. And all of this white here was just driving me crazy, because it, first of all, was not easy to see. And now I can see it on Pattern Keeper and just exit out, and I'm also gridding it too. So both of those are making it much easier to do. That's my 21 in 21 challenge. That I'm working on that this week too. Okay, what else did I have down? Welcome Home. Welcome Home is with 4 other pieces. We are doing a, for the Daily 30 group, and unfortunately it's a closed group. It does open every now and again to more people. So you can maybe put a message to the starter of the group or one of the admins of the group to ask to be informed when the challenge prompt group opens up again. They are doing this year for a yearly challenge prompt. They're doing a zombie run. And with the zombie run, you had to pick four projects you really wanted to get done this year. And you're going to do major work on each one of them. You're going to do 2,400 stitches total on all 4 a month. So my 4 pieces, I will show you when I do my update as I do each one. But I got my 400 stitches for some of my miles on my zombie run to make 2 miles out of 12. And that's on this piece, which I intend on finishing this year. Welcome to the River, so I can take it up and display it framed at our second house on the river. So that has, I finished that, the stitches on that, and I will do it again once more to get 800 total on that, to move on to another one of the 4 and let you know what that is. And then one other for this week before I move on to my next week is I'm going to start this pattern that Sarah Stitching Mommy does every year. She does a temperature pattern. And in the past, I did one temperature pattern myself years ago, but I haven't done any since then. I'm going to see how I can keep up on this. If it hopefully it doesn't take up too much of my time and take away from my other stitching. Especially this month. This month is going to be a difficult one with all the full coverage, but then when I move into February, I don't think it'll be quite so bad. She did this one for this year called Temperature Topography. So it's like all the names of the months and then the colors for the different days for filling it in for how high the temperature is for the day. So I thought this was a cool pattern, so I'm going to work on that later on today after I finish this video. And then I'm going to try to do, I think I'm going to follow what Sarah does, Stitching Mommy. She does it every Sunday. So I think I may do that too. I may do it on Sundays. So my plans for this month, as you can tell, are a lot of full coverage. But that will stop. A lot of the full coverage will stop when it comes to the end of January. I will continue on some, but not to the extent of this bingo. I think that would be way too much for me. Oh, before I forget too, I also joined the Challenge Prompt Whip Go. I joined them half a year ago, the one that Jessie Marie does. Jessie Marie does stuff, where you make a bingo board, and I'll show you that bingo board when I do my update. And the numbers that we called this time, amazingly, I was hoping it would call a full coverage, which it did. It called the African Women with Peonies too. So I can do double dipping on this, which is really great. And so I will finish my whip go for that particular number 6 on my board. It also called a free space, which is great, helping for a bingo. And then the other one was 18, number 18, and that's Count Your Blessings for me. That was on my whip go board, which is a long dog. And I will work on that the last 2 weeks of the month after I get my full coverage piece that was called. Most of its work done on it. So anyway, that's my plans for this coming month. see how well I do. Thanks for joining me for this 2020 finish parade. And now I can move on to just doing regular videos again. Thanks for joining me. As always, at the end of this year, I'm grateful for your subscriptions. I'm grateful for new subscribers, old subscribers. Whoever joins me, I like eclectic. I like an eclectic mix of patterns, anywhere from samplers on fine count up to even some Ada pieces on dimensions kits. So along with full coverage and lots of other fun patterns. So there's always a little bit of something different that you see with mine. So take a look, fast forward if you don't want to hear me talk, and look at some of the patterns and see what you like. So anyway, I'm grateful for you joining me again. I hope you all have a blessed new year, this coming 2021. And hope it's just a wonderful year for you. And I won't pull out my gratitude journal because this isn't a regular one, but I will let you know that, again, my moniker is to please see the beauty as Highway Stitcher. See the beauty in the world around you, in just even in your backyard. When you go meet people, look for that beauty. Be grateful for it, and you'll see the beauty out there. And thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you later and see you in a video soon. So, love you. Bye.